Luke Odell here. I'm the Vice President of the National Association for Gun Rights, and this is your Grassroots News Update. Gun banners across the country are working overtime to attack your right to keep and bear arms. Anti-gunners like billionaire playboy Michael Bloomberg and his cronies have worked tirelessly to restrict your right to keep and bear arms. In Congress and state legislatures across the country, they're trying to ban standard capacity magazines and force gun owners to have government investigations of family members before they lend them a firearm. They're working tirelessly to build a database of gun owners in every state. They've even started door-to-door gun confiscation without so much as a trial or due process. The laws they've passed in places like New York, Connecticut, Colorado, and California don't make Americans any safer. Each one takes us one step closer to the anti-gunners' ultimate dream, complete civilian disarmament. Politicians are feeling the heat. They're afraid of Bloomberg's millions, and they're afraid of offending gun owners like you. That's why it's so hard to tell which politicians actually believe in protecting your Second Amendment rights. For politicians, the best way to avoid angering Bloomberg or gun owners is to simply hide. They won't take positions on the Second Amendment. Instead, they hide behind doublespeak and vague statements about responsible gun ownership, hoping to avoid offending anyone while they hide their true colors. You see, in election years, we hear a lot of platitudes and vague statements about hunting and self-defense from politicians. That's where the National Association for Gun Rights Candidate Survey Program comes in. My staff works hard to survey every candidate for federal office to find out where each politician stands on your gun rights. The purpose of the survey is simple. We ask politicians a series of specific questions about gun rights policy in order to know where they actually stand on Second Amendment issues being debated today. The goal of the survey program is to cut through the fog of election year rhetoric and find out what politicians really believe on gun rights issues. If a politician won't answer simple, direct questions about where they stand on important Second Amendment issues, they're almost certainly hiding anti-gun views. That's why our survey program is so important. It helps us educate our members about what their politicians and elected officials actually believe and how they might vote on specific pieces of legislation. We know senators like Alaska's Mark Begich, who's desperate to appear pro-gun, but won't return his candidate survey, may not support auditing the ATF. We know that Mark Udall in Colorado won't answer direct questions about whether or not he supports the United Nations disarmament scam, the so-called Small Arms Treaty. We know that Senators Kay Hagan in North Carolina and Mary Landrieu in Louisiana won't commit to opposing anti-gun Supreme Court nominees. We know that Mark Pryor doesn't want to tell gun owners in Arkansas if he'll oppose banning certain types of firearms or creating a national registry of gun owners. You see, these senators refuse to return their federal candidate survey, and if they've refused to return their survey, we know that they're afraid to put their anti-gun views on paper. That's where you come in. Right now is the best time to lobby politicians. Over the past several weeks, and the weeks to come, we're reaching out to our members and supporters and urging them to contact their politicians. Gun owners like you and I must insist our politicians return their candidate surveys and pledge to support your gun rights. Please contact your politicians today. For all the latest news on our survey program and all things gun rights, be sure to like NAGR on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.